Hey, I see. Good afternoon. Wixman Ray here. We are already to the middle of the week, Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Hey, pretty active out there. I've got the satellite going here. This is the infrared, which shows you the temperature, the cloud top temperatures. Um, and we'll switch it here so we can kind of identify some features a little bit better. But this is that second system that's moving through Utah, Colorado, and up into the northern Rockies there with some snow. And back behind it, there's still some snow showers back here and some rain in California and along the coast here. Yeah, and then this is that system brewing up here in the northern plains here up in Minnesota. The low pressure sitting around right around Minnesota. This band here, I'll show you on the surface, that's some snow going on with some pretty strong winds too. So probably having close to blizzard conditions under that, you know, where the weather's going on there. And then up here, this is along that first system that came through the west here just yesterday. So this is the warm frontal part of this whole low pressure system. Um, And then you got some clouds streaming up with the southern subtropical jet coming up through the southern United States up into the east coast here. Most of this is high cloud, but there is some lower cloud below it. The stuff you're seeing right now, that's mostly high cloud, but the low cloud is kind of obscured by this enhancement. Let me go to this is our day cloud phase, the RGB satellite I've been showing you most every day. So yeah, since we were talking about that, you see the lighter, whiter, whitish, light bluish type stuff. That's a lower cumulus type cloud and stratus type clouds sitting underneath these orangish clouds, which are higher clouds above it. So yeah, so you got some moisture coming up off the Gulf. You're not getting a lot of precipitation because there's kind of a cold front, a real weak cold front, kind of in this general vicinity, but it's washed out as it goes down here. So there's not a lot of upper dynamics to get precipitation, but you do got some moisture. That's why you got cloud cover down across the south, extending towards the mid-Atlantic. Okay, and yeah, so you can see this whole system here wrapping up real nicely. Yeah, these are the lower clouds underneath this higher cloud shield. Got some lower clouds up in the top of Maine here, northern part. And out here, this is that second system that's come in now, that's bringing snow out to this part of the country. All this green out here, that's the snowfall that we got over. Most of it was from last night, but some was from the day before too. But you can see there's a lot of snow on the ground in Nevada and parts of Oregon and Idaho. You can kind of vaguely make it out in California, but they still got some clouds out here and some snow going on in the Sierra and a little bit of rain showers back here. So yeah, so that's what's going on. And then we got these clouds developing out here. We'll be seeing another low pressure develop out here ahead of this system as it moves across the center part of the United States and eastward through the week. So all right, that's it for the satellite here. I'm pretty active here. This is out in California here, so we got some rain showers going on, and then some snow up in the higher elevation still going on. This thing is slow here. Yeah, up at Lake Tahoe, they got some light snow. So still light snow ongoing through there. It looks like we got some spotty snow showers here across northern and central parts of Nevada. Out here, there's probably some stuff going on, but you don't have really any radar coverage out here. So yeah, so you're not going to pick that up if it is snowing out there. And it's pretty chilly. 20s, 20s and 30s. 30. These are the lower, a little bit lower elevations out this direction, but it's 5 to 6,000 feet generally out here in the valleys. Yeah. As we scroll northward here, there's some rain showers there along the Pacific Northwest. Then we got some snow here. There's still light snowing up at Boise. Some snow showers up here, northern Idaho and parts of Montana, all the way. So this whole area's got snow going on. Um, there's gaps in the radar coverage, so it may not be completely accurate. Like right here, it's reporting light snow, but we're not seeing anything on radar. That's because, it's outside of the radar sits over here in Salt Lake, and I think the next one's somewhere out here in Wyoming. So yeah, they get gaps in the radar coverage out there. So, and it's pretty windy too. Even back here, I forgot to mention, 20, 30 mile an hour winds. So there was some wind chills out there. Just for your information, we got about 2 to 3 inches up here in northern Nevada where I live. So a little good, a little bit of snow last night. Kind of winded, well, it kind of ended this morning. So yeah, but looks like we got some more snow showers moving into our general neck of the woods out here. Yeah, and then it's snowing out of Salt Lake City. So if you're flying in there or live out there, you got snow going on all the way up into Logan, the northern part of Utah, probably all the way down the valley, to Provo and point southward along I-15 there. So, and along I-80, some snow occurring there as you go towards Wendover, where people like to go gamble if you're from Utah. Yeah, so yeah, some gusty winds out there too, 30, 40 miles an hour. Yeah, looking over some snow out in Colorado. Grand Junction's pretty warm, so anything down in those lower valleys might just be rain, but the higher elevations are getting snow. Yeah, even this morning, St. George had snow. Now they're up to 41, so I'm sure everything's melted down there, but they're usually a bit warmer. It's even 52 down in Vegas, so it's a little chilly down there. Looks like we got some stuff going on around Vegas, some showers. It'll be valley rain, mountain snow out there. Yeah, all the way into Arizona, a lot of snow reported down here. Some moderate to light to moderate. Flagstaff's got moderate snow. So, and down towards Phoenix, some rain. It's in the 50s and 60s down there. Pretty windy too through there. Man, look at that, all the way through Southern California. So yeah, gusting up to 50. Some of these parts, 60 miles an hour up at Gallup. Yeah, New Mexico looks pretty windy too. I was looking at that. There, 40, 50 mile an hour winds. I think they had some fires out in Oklahoma or Kansas. I heard yesterday. I don't know if maybe they're still going on, but yeah, it's windy out there too. I mean, 30, 30 miles an hour winds still coming out of the southern plains here. Still a little windy out here. So yeah, so here's that second system. A lot of rain and snow showers, mostly snow though. Getting some good snow. I'll show you the snow amounts here in a little bit. So yeah, as we kind of scroll back to this first storm, yeah, they're getting like, that's what, 45, 50 mile an hour winds, 40 to 50 mile an hour through here. So, and you got these bands of snow. So, um, I know they've had some low visibilities down to a half mile or less. So, might be getting some blizzard-like conditions in some of this because the winds are pretty strong. They're lighter right here because when you get near the center of the low, which it looks like it's right in this general area north of Minneapolis, um, the winds tend to be light right around the low pressure, but on the around it, that's where you get the stronger winds. So yeah, and that extends up into North Dakota, kind of a little bit into South Dakota. So got some snow going on out there. Looks like light to moderate bands, maybe occasionally heavy. Yeah, not much going on down south of here. This is all, so the front, that warm front kind of runs right through here. You can kind of see the temperature difference, 55, 28, 59, 31. So it runs right through here. If we zoomed in, we could probably get a better, yeah, it sits right in here. So we got some fog out there in Michigan, and we got some snow. Most of it's up, in Canada right now, except for this stuff back here in Wisconsin and Minnesota and the Dakotas. And then this extends eastward, and then once you get to New York, you start picking up some of that. It looks like Buffalo's right at the transition. They're getting rain, 34 degrees. Rochester's got some freezing rain, so there's some of that mixed preset. 34 and rain at Syracuse. I know earlier it was snowing, so yeah, it's starting to warm a little bit along that warm front, so kind of a wintry mix. And sometimes when you see these yellows, these orange colors, that's the radar picking up the freezing level, and that's where, that's telling you you're right near that transition between rain and snow. So yeah, just something kind of interesting to know. So, and it's that thin band, like we said, it's just, I don't know how many miles across, 80 miles across, I don't know, give or take, maybe wider in some places. But yeah, even out here, it's not completely below freezing. It's mid to upper 30s, so a lot of it's rain right now. But yeah, they're getting some wintry precip on, at least this morning they were, so it's starting to change over. All right, we spent enough time up there. Yeah, get down here. It's real mild, 50s, 60s, all the way where all that cloud cover was across south, 60s and 70s. So really warm, even though it's, mostly cloudy out there. So a little breezy, most of the country out there in that part. Yep. Oh, and there's a few showers breaking out here, like we've been talking about from Tennessee. Looks like that stuff's probably not even hitting the ground, but farther north, up in West Virginia, parts of Kentucky and Virginia, there some rain showers. Yeah, that's about it. All right, I'm going to show you this real quick here. Um, I'll just do this daily until the Olympics end, but showing you what's going on for the Olympics for those of you who are watching or have interest there or just curious. So there's a low pressure moving out into the Black Sea, and then another one moving into France here off the Atlantic here. It looks like you probably got some clouds and rain across France and parts of Germany. This is Italy here, where it looks like maybe they're getting some clouds spilling in from the system. We'll look at the observations, but it looks pretty quiet right now. They had good weather yesterday out there, so we'll see what's happening currently out there. It would be probably what 8, 9 o'clock at night out there. I'm guessing it's getting to be late out there. Yeah, I don't see any rain reported. That's yeah, up here in France, back in France. You got the Alps that kind of here, so they're probably, yeah, they got some clouds spilling over the Alps into northern Italy, but 41 at Milan, in the 40s around Milan, and cooler up here, probably in the 30s. We don't got an observation, but the 28 there, 39, and Cortina's right there, so they're probably in the 30s. I believe they sit a little higher. They're up near the mountains, so yeah, so good weather there. I just thought I'd show you that. All right, back to the forecast. Okay, Ray, don't do that. All right, so this is basically now, and it's pretty close. This rain showers on the south end was probably a little bit overdone here, just looking at the model, but otherwise, I mean, looks pretty good out here, out west for the most part. Pretty good. Models handling things well. Pretty good with that low where we saw it, and that snow band, right through there, the area. All right, so as we go into tonight, so that's the first system here, so we'll kind of watch it here. It's starting to weaken. You're seeing some lingering light snow, mostly in the Canadian side. This will be the biggest impact up here, in the northern Midwest, up here, North Dakota through northern Minnesota and Wisconsin. So that kind of fizzles out as we head through into Thursday morning. You see that it just kind of weakens. And then we got this second system. So this is storm number 2 coming out of the Rockies here. So some ongoing snow across the west through tonight. By tomorrow morning, we got a little bit spilling out into the northern plains here in Nebraska, Wyoming, and South Dakota. It looks like low pressure develops out here, not too far from Kansas City. And then you get some rain breaking out, rain showers along this. So there's a warm front that'll be sitting right through here, and the cold front's generally back in here. So, yeah. All right. So that's Thursday. So that's tomorrow. We'll cover the West later here. We'll just talk about this. So as we move through the day on Thursday, it starts picking up on that Gulf moisture. You still got snow coming through Nebraska, and it moves into Iowa and points northward there a little bit, north of this low near uh, northern Illinois, like in northern Iowa area, right on the border there. Looks like that's tomorrow night, on Thursday night. Yeah, you might get some thunderstorms breaking out, from say Kentucky down towards Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, and then rain out here in this general area. So it's still going to be relatively warm out here, so all rain. As we move into Friday morning, some snow moves up into Wisconsin, so probably some pretty good snow, several inches. Um, so it'll be pretty windy behind this too. It looks like some pretty tight packed isobars, and this will filter in and start filtering the colder air back into this part of the country as we head into Friday. And then you can see a lot of rain. There'll be some showers, probably some thunderstorms going on through the southeast down up into the Carolinas, maybe even Virginia. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. So, and then going to Saturday, this system starts to weaken and move offshore. So, all right. So we'll back up here a little bit and turn to the west coast. So this is today, tonight. So that's that third storm coming on shore overnight into early tomorrow morning. That'll bring another good round of snow and rain to California. And then that takes a southern track, lows almost near Vegas there. And so you're going to see more of the snow farther south than these last two systems. So northern Arizona, southern Utah, central and southern Nevada will get in on some more snow. And that'll truck across southern Utah into Colorado there on Friday. Yeah, even Flagstaff will see another round of snow, and then up here across northern New Mexico, maybe a little bit of snow and valley rains. And as that emerges into the plains, there's kind of a little lag here, but you'll see there'll be some clouds and some spotty precip, but yeah, it takes a little bit to develop, but late on Sunday, this is what's left of that system, that third system. A low develops across the southeast here. There's still some model uncertainty on where exactly, but looks like some rain will break out and some storms, probably some thunderstorms, um, Saturday into Sunday morning. And then that tracks up along the East Coast. It's showing it could be a little bit of a nor'easter for New York City and Boston and parts of the East Coast there, toward down near DC. Depends on how far offshore. This is taken a little farther offshore than yesterday. I would just watch your local forecasts out there, because the snow could pile up out there and get windy, nasty blizzard-like conditions. Just yeah, no fun. And I know they've had quite a bit of winter out there in those parts, anyways. This last few weeks or so, most of the winter, I think. Yeah, so that's as we head into the end of the weekend and to early next week. And then by next weekend, Sunday, Monday, another system comes across Northern California. This one looks like it'll stay a little farther north than the last couple. Yeah, so that's through the middle of the week, maybe another system moving into California. So they'll get a little break over for a couple days, starting Friday out here through the weekend, and then they come back in on Sunday and Monday. So that's about it. Yeah, so somewhat stormy. Watch out for this thing if you live on the East Coast, or if you're going to be out in that neck of the woods here in the near future by early next week, or even on Sunday. So yeah, all right. So that's about all I've got for you today. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot. Just showing you the snowfall analysis. I did the 48 hours since we've had these two storms. Yeah, they're just going for a solid 36 inches. Maybe they've had a little more in the Sierras, but they've had a lot of snow. Feet of snow. Most of Nevada has had snow. The valleys have had anywhere from 3 to 6 inches over the past 2 days, and then the mountains are getting upwards of a foot or more. Out here in Salt Lake here, it was snowing down in the valley. It looks like up on the benches an inch or two, couple inches. Tooele area, they got a couple inches, but up in the mountains, I'm seeing 12 to 18 in the Washats and back towards the Uintas. So yeah, we're getting some pretty good snow, and then more up here into Idaho and Wyoming and Montana, all the way north. Won't go into too much of detail, but yeah, it's definitely snowed out there. Some of these lower valleys didn't get much out here in Washington and Oregon, but yeah, and then this is across the plains here. Yeah, we've seen some good snows out here. Look at that, man. There's some 8 to 12 inches up in parts of North Dakota. 6 to 8 are up there. It's one said 12, so yeah. They had some heavier snow bands here in parts of South Dakota and North Dakota, even across Minnesota here. Generally 3 to 6, but a couple, almost to a foot up there. So yeah, a little bit of snow. Otherwise, yeah, you see that I had a couple inches out in parts of the Adirondacks and out here, so a little bit up in northern Maine. But it's winter up there. That's nothing new for them. So, anyways, that's it from Wixman Ray out.